A haggard dog sat alone on a flower bed near the station, quietly watching everyone who exited. The professor's widow, now arm in arm with another man, passed by the station and was shocked by this sight. She never imagined that 10 years after her husband's death, Hachi would still be waiting at the station entrance. Hachi sat there with distant eyes, dirty and disheveled, having lost his once handsome appearance. While she had finally moved on from her grief and found the courage to start a new life, Hachi remained faithfully waiting for his master's return. After 10 years, Hachi had become an elderly dog. The coffee vendor nearby turned away to hide his tears. Hachi kept his gaze fixed on the exit, afraid to miss anyone coming through the station doors.
It's all right, could I wait with you for the next train?
Hachi and the professor first met at this busy train station. Fate placed the small pup in the path of the professor as he was heading home from work. The kind-hearted professor picked up the puppy, assuming he had accidentally lost his owner. When the last train departed without anyone claiming the dog, the professor approached the station management, hoping to leave the puppy there overnight for its owner to find. The manager explained that if no one came to claim him by the next day, they would have to send him to an animal shelter. Seeing the manager's reluctance, the professor had no choice but to secretly bring the puppy home. Since his wife didn't want a dog, he settled the little one in his first-floor study. When his wife came downstairs, she didn't notice anything unusual and kissed her husband, mentioning she had a surprise for him that evening. The professor replied awkwardly that he might have a surprise for her too. As he went upstairs, he prayed the little one would stay quiet through the night, but the puppy was restless. He pushed through a gap in the door and made his way up the stairs to the bedroom, interrupting the couple's intimate moment. It wasn't that his wife disliked dogs. They had owned one before, but a dog's lifespan was too short. The pain of that loss had made her vow never to have another dog. Understanding his wife's reluctance to experience that heartbreak again, the professor promised to find the puppy a new home the next day, but asked if he could stay in the storage room for the night. His wife reluctantly agreed. The professor prepared a small bed with padding for the puppy. Worried about him feeling lonely, he brought a stuffed toy for company. After settling him in, the professor turned off the light and prepared to leave, but hesitated when he looked back at the small creature. He quickly turned the light back on, hoping it would provide some sense of security. As soon as the professor left, the puppy went to the door crack and watched him walk away. Though he couldn't speak, his pitiful eyes said everything. The next day, their daughter saw the puppy and fell in love with him. She wanted her parents to keep the dog. The father, seeing he had an ally, thought there might be hope for keeping the puppy, but his wife produced a stack of adoption flyers, making it clear the matter wasn't up for discussion. The reluctant professor tried to honor his promise. He prepared to take the puppy to an animal shelter, but when he arrived, the cages were already full of strays. The staff told him they could only keep dogs for 2 weeks, after which they would be euthanized if not adopted. Unable to leave the puppy to such a fate, the professor took him to a friend's bookstore. His friend liked the dog, but the store's resident cat bullied the puppy, making the professor abandon the idea of leaving him there. After trying several places without success, the professor realized deep down that he didn't want to give the dog away. He stopped at the coffee vendor's stand to buy a hot dog, jokingly asking if the vendor wanted to adopt a dog.